Yeah, there's a kind of heartbreak that doesn't come from being left. It comes from waiting for them to show up differently, waiting for them to love you the way you kept loving them, waiting for potential to finally turn into presence. And in that wait, I broke my own heart.
Tyler, I think that's what no one warns us about. Sometimes the wound isn't what they did, it's what we did to ourselves while trying to hold on. You don't realize how loud your silence became or how heavy your hope started to feel. Let me ask you something. Have you ever begged God to change them? When deep down, you were the one being called to let go.
And if you're still here, I want to tell you what this story is really about. This isn't just about heartbreak. This is about how emotional enmeshment tricks us into believing that if we just love harder, it'll heal. It's about how anxious attachment makes us ignore the truth because we're addicted to the possibility. But today, you're going to finally understand the cost of that waiting. And by the end of this episode, you'll be able to say, I can love them and still walk away. I can forgive me for what I didn't know then. I don't need to break for love anymore.
You know what's wild? There's a study by Dr. Amir Levine that shows people with anxious attachment are biologically wired to override red flags just to keep the connection. That means your brain was literally protecting you by lying to you. It said, just stay a little longer. They didn't mean it. If you were a little less needy, they'd love you back. But that was never love. That was your nervous system begging for safety in familiar chaos.
I remember laying in bed one night and realizing they hadn't asked me how I was in over a week. And still, I showed up for them the next morning like it didn't hurt. That's not love. That's self-abandonment disguised as loyalty. And that's when I knew it wasn't their silence that broke me. It was me, waiting for it to change.
I've been there too. And that moment, when you realize the only person who hasn't been choosing you is you, that's where the grief starts. Let's do something together. If you're in a safe space, close your eyes with me. Breathe in and out. Put your hand on your chest and repeat after me. I forgive myself for not knowing better. I forgive myself for staying too long. I forgive myself for thinking love had to hurt to be real.
You didn't lose them. You lost the illusion that they were ever going to change. And maybe the reason it still hurts is because you were waiting for an apology from someone still pretending they never did anything wrong. But your healing doesn't require their awakening. It only requires your decision.
Let's release what was never yours to carry. Their growth is not your responsibility. Their silence doesn't define your voice. Their inability to show up doesn't make you unlovable. When I finally stopped praying for them to change and started praying for the strength to stop betraying myself. And that's when God met me, not in the reunion, but in the release. Because sometimes the most faithful thing you can do is walk away with a heart that still loves but refuses to keep bleeding. So if you're still here, and if your chest feels heavy, that's okay. You're grieving a version of you who didn't know what you know now. And that grief, that's not weakness. That's freedom trying to find you.
Next week, we go even deeper. Why you kept loving them, even after they hurt you. Because healing isn't just about walking away. It's about unlearning why you stayed so long. And before we go, this episode ends with a special song written just for you, Still Loved Me. It's not just a song, it's a healing moment. Let it meet you where you are. Drop a comment if this one spoke to your soul, like if it helped you heal. And subscribe so you never walk through this journey alone. We'll see you then.
I gave my all, held on too long. Hoped you'd hear me in every song. I waited in rooms you never came to. Built a future around the hope of you. But I lost myself in that quiet ache, dreaming of the day you'd finally wake. Now I'm rising not to chase, but to finally hold my rightful place. Even when I waited, even when I cried, even when I broke for you night after night, one thing never left me. The truth I see, I deserve someone who still loved me. I dimmed my light just to be near, silenced my voice so you wouldn't disappear. I begged the silence to feel like grace, but it left me staring at my own face. But sadness carved strength into my bones. Grief became the fire that brought me home. And now I see what nearly broke me was really the place where God rewrote me. Even when I waited, even when I cried, even when I broke for you night after night, one thing never left me, the truth I see. I deserve someone who still loved me. I released the need to prove my worth. I was never made to beg or hurt. I'm stronger now, not because I stayed, but because I walked when I was afraid. Even when I waited, even when I cried, even when I broke for you, I survived. Now I don't chase what won't choose me. I wait for the love that still loves me. I wait for the love that still loves me. I gave my all, held on too long, hoped you'd hear me in every song. I waited in rooms you never came to, built a future around the hope of you. But I lost myself in that quiet ache, dreaming of the day you'd finally wake. Now I'm rising not to chase, but to finally hold my rightful place. Even when I wait, even when I cried, even when I broke for you night after night, one thing never left me, the truth I see. I deserve someone who still loved me. I dimmed my light just to be near, silenced my voice so you wouldn't disappear. I begged the silence to feel like grace, but it left me staring at my own face. But sadness carved strength into my bones. Grief became the fire that brought me home. And now I see what nearly broke me was really the place where God rewrote me. Even when I waited, even when I cried, even when I broke for you night after night, one thing never left me, the truth I see. I deserve someone who still loved me. I released the need to prove my worth. I was never made to beg or hurt. I'm stronger now, not because I stayed, but because I walked when I was afraid. Even when I waited, even when I cried, even when I broke for you, I survived. Now I don't chase or won't choose me. I wait for the love that still loves me. I wait for the love that still loves me.